Okay, so we'll talk about failure and catch terminals of MQ input node. So mostly people ask in interviews about those concepts. So we are going to see in what case message will travel through failure terminal, in what case message will travel through catch terminal. So difference is quite simple. But after that, we are going to see some another scenario. We will try to create some scenarios which basically interviewer may ask, right? So let's start. So if my message which MQ input node receives breaks on MQ input node itself, then my message will travel through failure terminal. But if my message which in MQ input node is receiving passes through MQ input, but something wrong happens after that, maybe here or here, something wrong happens downstream and exception occurs, then my message will travel through catch terminal. Right, so this is the basic difference, which is very simple. But interviewer may also ask, what if my cache terminal is not connected? What happens in that case? So we are going to see these things in this particular video. So let's create a scenario where my message breaks down on MQ input and my message will travel through failure terminal. So this is a quite simple flow where there is a queue in dot queue which receives input message. This is the compute node basically which handles the exception and put the exception message on exception.queue. Now this is the MQ output which basically receives output message on out.queue. Right, so this is very simple message flow which I have created in order to explain the scenarios. Now let's create first scenario where my message will breaks down on MQ input node itself so that we can see the message is traveling through failure terminal. Right, so let's go through the message. Now see, my message will fail on MQ input node if there is something wrong with the message or if there is something wrong with the content, which is not as per the business rules, right? So then again, my message will break down on the input node itself. So let me do something wrong with the message so that exception occurs. Let me remove this tag and save. Now put this message on MQ input. Now let me save it and deploy the application. My application is deployed. Let me launch the debugger so that we can analyze in debugger mode how my message is propagating. So let me write this message on queue so that my flow is triggered. Now we can see that my flow has been triggered. Now this message is unable to pass the MQ input because there was wrong structure present in the XML message. So it travels through failure terminal. And if we see the exception list, we can easily see that the content of element must consist of well-formed character. So let's terminate the flow. Now on exception queue, we can see the same message. Uh, yeah, see XML passing error, right? So let me read this. So this is the first scenario where my message is traveling through failure terminal. Now let's create another scenario where my message will travel through catch terminal. So let me do one thing. Let me bring this message back to original state, correct state. Again, put this message on queue. Now, in order to create exception over here, let me do something. Let us put some random data source name. This data source doesn't exist, so my compute node will throw an exception, right? So let's save and deploy. Now again launch the debugger to analyze the behavior in debugger mode. Now the message is correct, right? Now my message passes the IMQ input node. Now exception will occur here, and now in that case it will travel through catch terminal. Now let us uh, complete the flow. Let me terminate the debugger. Now see on the exception queue. See, we have got an exception which says data source name not found and no default driver is specified, which is correct because we had put some random database name. Now let me read this exception. Now let's come to important discussion where interviewer may ask what happens if catch is not connected. See, answer of this question is if catch terminal is not connected and exception occurs over here, then my message will travel through failure terminal. Now interviewer may ask a cross question. If my message will travel through catch to failure terminal in the absence of connection to the catch terminal, then what is the need of catch terminal? Why creator of MQ input node has put so much efforts in creating a catch terminal? Why didn't he simply put out and failure? Right? So his question is correct. So let's see what happens. Let's analyze this practically. Save this flow. Deploy. Again put the debugger on. Again write. Debugger has been launched. Message has passed. Now exception will occur here because there is a wrong data source name we have given. Now exception is there. See, now it is traveling through failure terminal. Now let's see the exception list. See, when catch was connected, we could see the actual error that data source name not found and no default driver specified. Let us see in this case what is the exception list. See, it's different. It's dequeued failed propagating a message to a failure terminal. See, this dequeued failed occurs whenever if my message wants to travel through cache terminal, but it don't find the cache terminal and basically eventually it ended up going through failure terminal. So exception is different. Here we cannot see what is my actual exception, right? My actual exception is this data source name not found and no default driver specified. But what I am seeing is dequeued failed, right? So I am not able to see my actual exception. So this is the need of catch terminal. So proper answer is if catch is not connected, my message will travel through failure terminal. And if the person asks, then what is the need of catch terminal? Then we can say that exceptions would be different, right? Here we cannot see what is my actual exception. Dequeued failed message will occur. So this is the proper answer of this question. Now let's create some more scenarios. Let's create some more scenarios where let us bring back our cache terminal. Now, what happens if my exception occurs here? It will travel through cache terminal. Now again, if my message is traveling through cache terminal and after traveling through cache terminal, it again encounters an exception. What will happen in that case? Now again, if we want to create that scenario, let me put some wrong data source name here also so that an exception after traveling through cache terminal, again an exception occurs. Yes. Let me put the same message. Right. Debug. debugger has been launched. See, my exception occurs, travels through catch terminal. Again, exception occurs. See, in this case, if my message travels through catch terminal, my actual exception is data source name not found because I have given wrong data source name. But see, again exception occurs. In that case, my message will travel through failure terminal. Right. So let me repeat. If a message which is traveling through catch terminal again encounters an exception, then my message will travel through failure terminal. It will treat as if catch is not connected. So it will travel through failure terminal. And again, if it travels through failure terminal in this case which I have just mentioned, then again we will see dequeued failed. Again we cannot see the actual exception. Right, so keep all these things in mind about catch and failure terminals. So let me terminate the debugger. Now, another thing, like answer was, if catch was not connected, it will go through failure terminal. But there is one thing, it will happen only if my transaction mode is yes. If my transaction mode is no, let's see what happens. Deployed, launch the debugger, write, message propagates through the out terminal, exception occurs. Okay, let me remove catch terminal. I was trying to explain the thing if catch is not connected and transaction mode is no. So let us deploy again after saving. Deployed, launch the debugger again. Right, debugger is launched, exception occurs. Now if I move ahead, see my thread is stuck in between. Catch is not connected and my message is not traveling through failure terminal. Right, my thread is stuck in between. So my message will travel to failure terminal only if transaction mode is yes. So you have to keep this thing in mind also. So that's it with the session. If you really liked this video, then please share this with your friends. If you want to provide any suggestions, just comment, or if you want to ask any question, just comment. Yeah, thank you so much.